Your intense emotions don't just feel overwhelming, they literally reroute your brain's communication network, momentarily silencing the very parts you need for clear thought. It's not a malfunction, it's an ancient built-in override system that kicks in when your feelings run high, leaving your mind feeling like a scrambled mess. This isn't a flaw, it's a feature. Today, we're going to dive deep into the precise neurobiological dance between your brain's emotional centers and its executive control hub, your prefrontal cortex. You'll understand how specific chemical shifts fog your mental clarity and, most importantly, what you can do about it. Think about those moments. A deadline looms, a difficult conversation escalates, or unexpected news lands. Suddenly, your normally sharp thinking feels gone. The words won't come. Decisions feel impossible, and concentrating on anything feels like trying to grab smoke. This isn't just a distraction, it's a profound biological shift. Your brain is quite literally changing its operating system. At the heart of this switch is a dramatic interplay between your ancient limbic system, the part responsible for survival emotions, and your sophisticated prefrontal cortex, the region handling all your complex thinking, planning, and focus. Imagine your prefrontal cortex as the highly skilled air traffic controller for your entire cognitive airport. It directs planes, manages flight paths, ensures everything runs smoothly and precisely. It's in charge of your working memory, your sustained attention, your logical reasoning. But when emotions surge, your limbic system, particularly a tiny almond-shaped structure called the amygdala, acts like a blaring fire alarm in that air traffic control tower. When that alarm goes off, the air traffic controller doesn't calmly continue directing planes. Every other function, every careful calculation, every nuanced decision is immediately secondary to responding to the perceived emergency. Professor Amy Arnstein's foundational work from 1998 at Yale University demonstrated this beautifully. Her research and subsequent studies showed how the prefrontal cortex, despite its advanced capabilities, is incredibly vulnerable to stress hormones. When your stress response is activated, your adrenal glands release a cascade of chemicals. Two of the most impactful are cortisol and norepinephrine. Cortisol, often called the stress hormone, acts like a dimmer switch, reducing the activity of your prefrontal cortex. It literally makes it harder for those careful neural networks to fire effectively. Meanwhile, norepinephrine, a neurotransmitter that also acts as a hormone, floods your system, putting your brain on high alert. This is useful for fight or flight, but it drastically reduces your ability to focus on specific non-threatening tasks. It's like turning up the volume on every single sound in the control tower so loudly that you can't hear the specific instructions coming from any one plane. You're alert to everything, but precise attention becomes impossible. This neural hijacking isn't some abstract concept, it's the direct cause of that frustrating mental fuzziness. But there's a deeper, more profound shift happening inside your brain during these moments, one that explains why you feel not just distracted, but profoundly incapable of clear thought. It's not a failure, it's an ancient survival protocol. This shift changes not just your cognitive ability, but how you perceive your own mental state. Before understanding this, you might just feel stupid or overwhelmed when your brain goes fuzzy. After this, you'll realize it's your brain in a specific, temporary, and entirely understandable mode of operation. The key lies in the subtle dance of dopamine, a neurotransmitter most famous for its role in reward and motivation. But dopamine also plays a critical, nuanced role in the prefrontal cortex, fine-tuning its ability to focus and maintain working memory. Under normal conditions, dopamine in the prefrontal cortex helps to sharpen your attention, allowing you to select and hold on to specific pieces of information while filtering out distractions. It's like a finely tuned spotlight, illuminating exactly what you need to see. Research led by Dr. Elizabeth Gould in 2002, then at Princeton University, further illuminated the intricate ballet of these chemical messengers. Her work, among others, helped reveal that under high emotional stress, the levels of dopamine in your prefrontal cortex don't just fluctuate, they shift dramatically, altering their precise balance and effects. Instead of creating a focused spotlight, this altered dopamine profile creates more of a diffuse floodlight. Your brain isn't trying to focus on one thing anymore. It's trying to scan for everything. Imagine you're trying to read fine print in a book. Normally, your brain uses its dopamine spotlight to perfectly illuminate those words, allowing you to comprehend them with ease. But when that emotional fire alarm goes off, your brain thinks it's in a dangerous situation. It doesn't care about the fine print. It cares about potential threats in your peripheral vision. So, the dopamine system pivots. It reconfigures itself to promote broad vigilance rather than pinpoint accuracy. Your mental spotlight transforms into a wide, albeit dimmer, floodlight designed to catch any movement or anomaly in the environment. This is fantastic if you're escaping a predator, but absolutely debilitating if you're trying to write an important email or solve a complex problem. You suddenly perceive every single external stimulus as equally important, equally demanding of your attention. This isn't you being weak. It's your brain defaulting to its most basic, ancient, and powerful program, survival. And that, right there, is the exact process that makes your brain feel fuzzy. Your conscious mind is trying to do complex tasks, but your underlying neurochemistry has shifted your brain into a state optimized for scanning, not for deep thinking. Understanding this takes the personal blame out of it. It's not that you suddenly became incapable, it's that your brain rerouted its resources based on its interpretation of your emotional state. The empowering news is that armed with this knowledge, you can begin to work with your brain, not against it. You can consciously implement strategies to recalibrate these neural networks and bring your prefrontal cortex back online. Here are 3 specific, science-backed ways to regain clarity when emotions try to hijack your cognitive control. First, master the physiological sigh. This isn't just any deep breath. It's a specific breathing pattern that has an almost immediate effect on your nervous system. It involves 2 short, sharp inhales through your nose, followed by a long, slow exhale through your mouth. The double inhale overinflates the tiny air sacs in your lungs, called alveoli, which allows for a maximum release of carbon dioxide on the extended exhale. This specific action directly activates your vagus nerve, which is a major pathway for communication between your brain and your body. When the vagus nerve is stimulated in this way, it sends a powerful signal to your amygdala to calm down, effectively turning off that internal fire alarm. When the amygdala quiets, your prefrontal cortex can begin to restore its optimal dopamine balance and regain its executive function. Try it. 2 quick inhales, then a long, slow exhale. Do this 3 to 5 times. You'll feel a palpable shift within moments as your brain starts to untangle itself. Second, engage in short, low-intensity movement, especially outdoors. When your emotions are high, your body is flooded with stress hormones. Gentle physical activity, like a brisk 5-minute walk or even light stretching, helps your body metabolize and clear these hormones, particularly cortisol. But there's a deeper neurological benefit. Moving your body, especially in natural environments, can subtly shift your brain's attention away from the internal emotional whirlwind and towards external, yet non-threatening sensory input. This gentle reorientation allows your prefrontal cortex to re-engage without the pressure of complex tasks. A study from 2019, published in the journal Frontiers in Psychology, showed that just 20 minutes of contact with nature significantly lowers cortisol levels. This isn't about vigorous exercise, it's about giving your brain a subtle, restorative input that helps it shift out of emergency mode and back into a state where clarity is possible. The combination of gentle movement and exposure to natural light and sounds creates an optimal environment for your brain to self-regulate. Third, practice what's called cognitive offloading through structured journaling or externalizing. When your brain is fuzzy, your working memory is overloaded, trying to juggle not only the task at hand, but also the swirling emotional content. This is where your prefrontal cortex gets swamped. The solution is to get those thoughts out of your head and onto paper or a screen. Spend 5 to 10 minutes writing down everything that's contributing to your emotional state and mental fog. Don't filter it, don't organize it, just let it flow. This act of externalizing thoughts significantly reduces the load on your working memory. It's like moving files from a cluttered desktop to external storage, freeing up your computer's RAM. Once those anxieties or unresolved issues are written down, your prefrontal cortex is less burdened, allowing it to re-engage with the tasks that require focus and precise thinking. It shifts your brain from an internal echo chamber of stress to a more external, actionable processing mode. Understanding this intricate interplay transforms how you perceive your own struggles with clarity. You are not simply losing it when your brain feels fuzzy. You are experiencing an ancient automatic neural override designed for survival, not for spreadsheets or eloquent conversations. Realizing this changes everything. It replaces self-criticism with scientific understanding, turning frustration into a sense of empowered control. You no longer blame yourself. You understand the sophisticated, beautiful machine that is your brain, and you now possess the manual to guide it back to clarity. The journey into understanding the astonishing mechanisms of your own brain is just beginning. What you've discovered today about reclaiming mental clarity is just one tiny, fascinating piece of the incredible puzzle. Keep exploring with us, because what's coming next will unlock even more profound insights into the extraordinary power you hold within your own mind.